what's up, guys? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Is It Wrong Podcast with your host, me, Rey Parra. Make sure to hit the like button, make sure to subscribe and share. Add all your comments. We love the comments. Every time we have a special guest, there's different comments. We have a conversation. We have a great time, guys. Remember to get our merch. We got some cool t-shirts, some cool mechanic shirts, some hats, some buttons, some mugs, all kinds of real good stuff. But just stay tuned for today's guest. It's going to be a great one. Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Is It Wrong with your host, me, Rey Parra. Today I have some very special guests on today. Some guys that I've known for years and years and years. We did some shows with them, and they're just a great group of guys. And I want to welcome, well, I know them as Paradox, so I'm going to say Paradox for now, and then we'll talk about the new band, okay? Welcome, guys. Fern, Roy, how you guys doing?
Doing great.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good, man. Good. So we've been doing a little chatting here, just reminiscing about some old stuff, and this is what it's all about. I want to have just some fun and just have a good conversation with you guys and talk about the old days and the new days and all that good stuff to come. What do you think?
Perfect.
Great.
Orale. Good. Now, hey, listen, just because I hit the record button, don't freak out. Don't be like deer in headlights. Okay, she's here. Hang on. I got to bring this chick on because I'll introduce you guys here in a second. Ready? Here we go.
What's up?
You guys know who that is?
Wow.
What's up?
Is that a pink hat?
Yeah,
It is.
Pink hat?
Is that
America.
Did you hear Fern? Is that what, Fern?
Barbie?
Barbie.
It's Barbie, man. There you go.
Barbie.
Hey, I've been
How are you, buddy?
I'm all right, brother.
Good to see you.
Same here.
Yeah, Ray called me up and said, "Hey, I'm going to be hanging with the Paradox guys, and I'd like you to pop in and say hi." So, hello.
Yeah, man.
You fool me, Ray.
I got you good, right?
Yeah.
Well, Bruce, they're Metamorphis now. They're not Paradox anymore.
Oh, Metamorphis.
Yeah.
Hey, things happen, man.
Oh, man.
Next thing you know, we're going to be sacred wannabes.
There you go. Yeah, we'll be opening up for these guys. What do you think? Hey, I would do it. I don't care. No pride, no shame in my game. Hey, before we get started, we gotta lay a rumor down to rest. Fernando,
Yes.
did you or did you not put the Barbie sticker on Bruce's guitar?
I did not.
Wasn't me.
Come on.
Did not.
Did that?
I don't even remember that.
Everybody said you did it.
Would have been me. Roy and I would have been talking about it till now.
To this day.
I don't know who it was. I have no clue. Maybe it was one of the roadies. I don't know. But it was not me.
Wasn't me.
I heard about it. But it wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Fern, come on, tell the truth, bro.
Did like the guitar. It was was it a Jackson?
That was my Randy Rhoads Jackson. Yep.
Yeah. I really like that guitar.
How funny he remembers, right, Bruce?
Yeah.
But he don't remember the Barbie sticker. Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't me,
Sorry,
man.
guys, my dog. Hey, Axel.
So it was not you, Fern? Roy.
Maybe
No. We would have been, Fern and I would, okay, let me just tell you this one thing. we were doing shows out there in El Paso, Las Cruces, wherever it was. We would always go after the gig. We were tired. We just wanted to grab some coffee, maybe a slice of pie. We go to a Denny's, or I don't know what they had out there.
Yeah.
And so Fern orders a big cup of coffee, puts it down, and he's gonna sugar it up. But he gets up, and he goes, "I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the restroom." And this guy,
the guy
the guy with the pink hat, he's acting,
Point the other way. Point the other way. No, the other way. That guy. There you go. Yeah, right there. Right there.
he sits down and he's acting like he's all tired and he's asleep and and as soon as Fern walks away and he's out of sight, this dude eyeballs pop open. He grabs a salt shaker, cracks open the lid, pours the whole thing. Fern's coffee ballooned up like a mushroom, like it was gonna explode. And then it calmed back down. And then he puts the cap back on, puts it back, and here comes Fern, and he's acting like he's all asleep again. This dude, this guy drinks his coffee. Have you ever seen that old lady when she drinks a prune juice or something? His face just got all, and we're just like, oh my gosh, that coffee must have tasted horrible. So stories like that, we remember, and we talk about it all the time.
Oh man,
we would have remembered putting a Barbie sticker on Bruce's.
Well,
taste.
no matter who did it, it definitely was comedy.
it was.
Because if I would flip my guitar, it would say Jesus, and I'd always flip it on "He Died." And when I remember flipping it and looking out, and everybody was laughing, and I'm like, never seen him laugh at Jesus like that. Wonder what's going on. And then I looked, and sure enough, it was a Barbie sticker covering the Jesus, and everybody said it was you, buddy. But that's okay. I believe you.
Fern, you said you thought it was Rick.
I thought it was Rick the
It
keyboard.
might have been Rick, dude. That guy was a joker through and through.
Yeah. Speaking of that, because Rick, well, you all of y'all would play these jokes on us. And if you remember, we were staying at somebody's house, and it was a two-story house. And in the morning, right around noon, we were all going to go see a movie because we weren't playing that day and we were resting. And there was a van outside, and there was Manny's van.
They were gonna go sightseeing.
Okay.
Shannon and Rick.
So,
our roadie Shannon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we all got inside the truck. There was a van there up front, and we opened up the slide door. We all go in there. Your bass player was there,
Steve. And his wife.
and his wife,
Fern.
and then somebody was sitting in the
Our
past.
sound man, David Sanderson.
David Sanderson was our sound man. And I was sitting in the back of the passenger seat, and we're all ready to go. So Rick and whoever else was driving the they drive right next to us to the and he says, "Y'all ready?" And they said, "Yeah, just follow us." So he goes like this, and I think it was David Sanderson puts it. The key was there, and he turns it on, but nothing happens. You just hear a click, and we're going, "Wow, these guys! We got to catch up to these guys because we're in El Paso, I think, somewhere, and we don't know. We'll be able to follow them." So he's there, man, pushing on the gas pedal, trying to start it, and nothing's going on. And we're trying to wave to the guys, man, slow, like stop. They keep going, man. And then all of a sudden, David says, "Well, open up the hood." Well, you can't open up the hood on a van. The engine's right in between.
You gotta pull that hub off, yeah.
Between the passenger, and we open it up, and when they open it up, there's no motor. No motor.
Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude?
And we're all like
Who
X going on.
van was it?
It was had been there for quite some
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Rick thing right there, man. That's
Yeah, he's just like me, right?
world. We lived in that world nonstop.
So about 10 minutes later, here comes Rick and Shannon is driving by and like, "Hey, what took y'all so long? What's going on?" David goes and tries to open the door, and the door comes off. And
It was funny.
And look at
Yeah.
we're still talking about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
You
I
know,
bring it up all the time, man. Rick
Yeah.
was something else.
he's a
Oh,
funny
man.
guy. There's no question. That guy had a sense of humor.
You know
Just
what he
like
did?
that- like him up there.
You know what he did to me and Trissy on our wedding night? Him and Joy came to our house before we no, it was after the wedding celebration. But they gave us a bouquet of dead flowers with chicken bones in it. And then and then they put Vaseline on the doorknob. We were living downstairs in the basement of my mom's house. And they put Vaseline on the doorknob, and we just got married, me and Tristy, and we're like, "Hey, ¿qué pasó, hey, baby? ¿Qué pasó?" And all of a sudden, we hear a knock on the door, da, 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 on the window upstairs, and they're like, "Ray, Ray!" I'm like, "Who's that?" It's the police. Somebody said that there's a violence, a fight between a husband and wife, or something like that. I forgot domestic violence going on in the house. I'm like, "What? It's my wedding night." They're like, "Open the door." So they called the cops and said that not only could I not open the door because it had Vaseline on it, but they told the cops we were having a domestic fight.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. Cops probably weren't too happy about that.
The good thing was I knew the cop when I opened the door. It was my buddy Tony. He's like, "Ray." I'm like, "Tony, what's going on?" And I said, "This has got to be Rick." And I told him the whole thing. And he said, "Can I see your wife?" She comes out. She's like, "Everything okay?" She's like, "Yeah, and we told them the whole story, and they started laughing.
She wasn't naked, was she?
No. Dave, you're gonna have to blur that one out. No. Oh man.
We were talking earlier that how long has Sacred Warrior been together?
Oh man.
88.
Yeah. 87, I think.
87, yeah.
Who started the band?
Me, Ray, and Tony.
The drummer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, the three of us. Yeah, we
What
got.
is this, your podcast or what?
We kind of like dominoes, came to the Lord. I went first, then Tony, then Ray. And then we said, "Hey, we're going to start writing music for the Lord." And that's when it all started.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So who got saved first?
I got
Bruce.
saved. I came to the Lord. Yeah.
Bruce.
Yeah, in a funeral home downtown Chicago, working around dead people all day.
Really?
Yeah. And I started questioning my mortality at that point, like what happens when you die? And the gentleman who led me to the Lord shared the gospel with me, and I said, "Heck yeah, I'm going to do this." And then I went and told Tony about it, and he eventually came a couple months later, and then we went to Ray, and he came. So,
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah, man. So listen. So since we're talking about that, let's talk pre-Paradox Day. We're going to start with you, Manny, because I know Roy. Oh, wow. I just called you Manny, Roy. Sorry about that.
Man, that's all right. I don't
It's
have
okay. You what?
no mustache.
I know, or the curly hair. Oh, he don't have curly hair anymore, does he?
No, it's wavy.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Roy, we're going to start with you real quick. Let's just talk really quick about your pre-save days. Have you always been a Christian? You raised in a Christian family and always raised up?
Here in San Antonio. It was Catholic. Very.
Okay.
Catholicism is huge. So I was growing up. I went to catechism. I went to communion and all that, and confessed to the priest and everything. But then I turn around the next day and go party like the devil. And I didn't realize until I really gave my life to the Lord and the Jesus came into my heart that I realized I've been living a lie all this time until I got saved really. And
how'd that happen?
Well, I mean, it was funny with Anthony de la Garza, the other Tony. We're pretty close back in the early days, so we were big time marijuana. We had bags and smoking, and anytime you'd see us together, our car, we were like Cheech and Chong. You know what I mean? And him and I, we were at a park. We call it North Park, and we were out there drinking with a friend of his that was in from the military. We were partying with him because he was going to have to go back out. So we wanted to. Real cool guy. I remember Dennis. Anyway, so we were partying, and this guy from across the street walks over, and he's carrying a Bible, a little Bible, and we're like, "Oh no, here comes this guy." Jehovah's Witnesses, like, right, coming to your door.
Oh yeah.
He comes up and he starts sharing the gospel. He starts talking to us, and I guess because I was the one that was most Anthony. If you know Anthony, he's very reserved, very quiet.
Yeah, totally.
Get him to talk. It's if he talks to you, you made a friend. Because you know what I mean. So Dennis, the other guy, he could care less, and so I was talking to the guy. I was trying not to be rude. So he gave me the New Testament Bible. It was the Cliff Brandon 75th anniversary edition. I remember to this day. I got it. I threw it in my back seat. Never gave it a second thought until a few weeks later. I got busted, and I got about 3 DWIs. So and it wasn't enough. I could have my license taken away. And if you don't have a license, you can't work, you can't drive.
Yeah.
So I had to cool down on my drinking and partying. So I found that there was a storm one night. I went to my car for something. I can't remember. I was looking for something, and I found that New Testament. I took it inside, and I said, you know what? I'll read it. So I started reading it. I read the Romans Road, and before you knew it, I was giving my life to the Lord at the end of the night. It was
all by yourself.
Yeah, I was by myself, and you know how the Bible tells you, it says, "For all has sinned and fall short of the glory of God." Romans. And then it tells, now turn to page this for John. For God so loved us, He gave His only begotten Son. John 3:16. So basically, it was like.
That's what I carry right here, bro.
Yeah, it was alive.
That
all of a sudden, the Holy Spirit, the words were coming out of me, and I was like, I was really truthfully, the power went out. Okay, serio. All right, Bruce. This means for real, truth. We say truthfully. The power went out. I said, I'm not going to stop reading this. So I lit a candle. So I could keep reading. And all the windows were closed. There was no wind, breeze, nothing. And all of a sudden the candle went out. Poof. And I'm like, what? So I went and I lit the candle, lit it again. And poof, it went out again. Like somebody was sitting there blowing it out. And I freaked. So at this time I got the candle. I brought the New Testament. I was covering the candle so it wouldn't turn off. And then it said, now if you believe with your... confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus Christ is Lord. And I prayed this prayer. And I prayed it, not knowing what I was doing, and I got saved. And all of a sudden the lights came on, man.
Wow.
The electricity came on.
That's
was not only did the lights come on for real, but they came on in my head.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got saved.
You know what's really awesome about what you just said? We especially us men, everybody but us men, when you have a goal that you're going forward, right? It's like, all right, I'm going to do that and nothing's going to stop me. You do whatever it takes, bro. You had a goal in your mind that you were going to read the scriptures no matter what, right? And then the wind blew, it got dark, and you're like, you know what? I wanted so bad, not really knowing that the Lord was unctioning you to do that, right? But you didn't realize it, but you knew, I want to read this, and you did whatever it took. You got the candle, you did it. And then you gave your heart to the Lord, man. And then, like you said, you're not only did the lights come on, but your eyes were open. You know what I'm saying? If more people would have that hunger, man, just to do whatever it takes to get close to Jesus, man, my God, imagine that.
Yeah. It would be a revival.
Yeah, man. How about you, Fern?
Well, I was about in my teenager years. Of course, we grew up Catholic as well. And she was going to this Pentecostal church, and I was playing. I had just started playing in a band. I was 19, and I was playing with this band called Wicked Step, and the singer His name was Mike Better, and got rest in peace. He recently passed away. He became a very good friend of mine. He would witness to me, and then of course I also had my mom telling me about Jesus, and she used to say, "You need to go to give your heart to the Lord." And I'd say, "Well, I will, Mom, but let me go play first, and then I'll get saved later."
Yeah.
And of course, then I would go to the Catholic Church every Sunday. I'd get on my knees. I turn on candles, say my Our Father, Hail Marys, and then I take off. Back to the world I went. And then on November 4th in 1983, the Lord really got a hold of me. And I told my mom, I said, "I think I need to go to church with you." So I went with her. And when you're there and when the preacher is talking, no matter who it is, it's like the Lord talking to you, directly talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the very far back, and my hair was super long. I was like, I think I had an Ozzy T-shirt on or a Sabbath shirt on, or I can't remember. It was one of those shirts. And the pastor was talking, and he was saying, I know that there's somebody here that needs to know Jesus. And by the time I know it, man, I got the Holy Spirit fell on me, and I was totally convicted. So as soon as he had the altar call, I went up to the front. And it was on a Sunday, of course, and it was like 12:30 when they had the altar call. I'll never forget it. I go to the front, and another friend goes with me. His name was Adam. His nickname was Corn. But we both go to the front, and there I am repenting. I couldn't stop crying.
Wow.
For the life of me, I could not stop crying. And I cried. I think I cried for about 20 minutes straight. And I left a puddle of water as I was crying, man. I looked at me and he says, "Hey, Fern, why are you crying, man?" I said, "Man, I don't know. I can't stop crying." But it was, sin, that the Lord was cleansing me. And then I gave my heart to the Lord. And it was very funny because every Sunday that I went there, if you're dressed like the world and you look like the world, you're going to heaven. And I said, "Wow." So I went and bought me a white shirt, pants, and all that. Go back. If you're listening to rock music and it's all ungodly music, you're going to hell. So I went and I threw away my metal albums that I had. Next says, "If you have long hair, you're going to hell." I had a hard time. I said, "All right." So my hair was super long. So I cut it, and I cut it like so by the time I know it, every Sunday I'm going to hell because I couldn't. Well, there was a lot of what do you call that, legalism.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, I met John Bedari, which was the guy who started Paradox. We became very good friends. And he says, "Why don't you go to church with me?" And I went to church with him. And the pastor was Elvis impersonator, but he would play worship on the piano. And then I started right there. That's when I started getting fed the Word of God, and I started going to church there. But that's how I met the Lord.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hmm.
That is awesome.
Yep.
I grew up Catholic too, and I had a similar thing when I got saved with Bruce. Took me to a play, and I got saved that night, and I cried and cried and cried, man. It's like you said, it's the Lord cleansing you,
Yeah, I couldn't stop crying, man. For the life of me, I couldn't stop.
Yeah. And how old were you then?
Oh, man, I was 27.
And you, Roy?
I think I was about 23, 24.
Okay. And then how soon after that did you guys start getting together and put together Paradox?
Well, John, the other guitar player, came up to me, and I was at shooting pool. I was at some bar, and I was shooting pool. And prior to that, a friend of mine had told me, "Hey, there's this guy who wants to meet you. He wants to play with you, and he's like you. He serves the Lord." And I said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah." And he wants to meet you. And I said, "Nah, I don't really have time right now. I didn't want to meet anybody. I was trying to get right with the Lord completely."
Sure.
And I'm sitting down, and somebody comes and taps me in the back, and I turn around, and it's him. And then he says, "You're Fernando, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And then he says, "Well, I think the Lord wants to use you. He wants you to play for him." And I said, "Okay. Who put this guy up to this, right?" And I'm thinking, somebody put him up to it. I remembered that a friend of mine told me that this guy wanted to meet me. So when he says, "Hey, I'm John. I don't know if so-and-so told you about me." And I said, "Oh, yeah, you're John." So then we had this other singer by the name of Mike Better, the one I told you he recently passed. But he joined another band. So it was me and him, and then we ran into Phil Galicia, which was the Galicia brothers that were the original bass player and the drummer for Paradox. And then I was having a hard time because I was coming out of the Pentecostal church, and they were very strict, very legalistic. And then I'm not cutting them down, but that's just the way they believe. And Striper was going to be in town. And this was around 86, 85, 86. And they were playing at Randy's Rodeo. And John bought me the ticket. And he says, "You want to go see Striper?" And I said, "Nah, I don't want nobody." So he bought me the ticket. So in a sense, he put me in the spot. So I went. And when we got there, I met Manny. And I had already met Manny before. So, and then Manny, we started hanging out after the concert. We started hanging out. And then okay, I guess we can start a band now and start doing this. So it was actually me, John, and Phil first, and then Manny came later, and then Phil's younger brother, which was Ephraim, would follow us around, and he'd get on the drums, and he started playing drums with us, and we're looking for a drummer, and then one day, I don't know what happened, but it's like Ephraim got zapped. And all of a sudden, he just starts going off on the drums, man. And he was about 14 or 15 years old. And I think the Lord just touched him. And by the time I know it, he got good overnight.
Wow.
We're playing all these metal songs, and Ephraim was playing all these songs, and we're going, wow, man. Because prior to that, like 2 weeks prior to that, he was just like very basic, a beginner.
Wow.
And then I think it was after the Striper concert, or I don't know what happened. This guy just got on the drum set and he went off. So I think it was the anointing of the Lord just touched him.
Yeah, of course.
But that's how we started. And this was back in 86, give or take, 85, 86.
Mm-hmm. And then Roy, you came along later on in what, 88?
Well, it's kind of a real intimate story too, because like Fern mentioned John, and I didn't know the brother, but I felt like I knew him in the spirit, because there's so much I can't get into, just too much, but I'll let Fern say about how Anthony and I came on, and the other John, because what happened to John was pretty. It's like you never know when your last day is going to be on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I remember, I just thank God every day for breathing and living another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened
Yeah,
with
no.
John, he's saying is that John went to be with the Lord. He died in a car wreck.
Mm.
And at that time, we had just recorded our first album, which was Ruler. But John he was a visionary. he was always saying, you know, we're gonna get signed, we're gonna get this, things are gonna happen, we're gonna come out on TV, you know, we're gonna have all these record contracts. And at that time, I would say, yeah, right, John. But everything he said came about, you know, and he was something else, man. That guy was like, you'd have to know him, but everything that he would talk about, he'd blow me away because it would come to pass.
Phew.
And then that's how Roy came in because he passed away, and then we were looking for another guitar player. We tried several guitars, but Roy and Anthony and John Purdue. I'm not sure if y'all met John Purdue.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah, he was on tour with us.
Yeah.
All right. It was John Purdue, Roy, and Anthony, and we were looking for a bass player and a drummer. And that was the time that the Galicia brothers had left, so we needed a rhythm section, and they came in, and they all fitted. You know, they already knew the song, so they just hopped in and just like if nothing happened.
How'd you guys come up with the name Paradox?
I think it was Phil, the bass player, because we all had about several names and we put it on. We had a jar and we our name that we thought that 5 names, and I think Phil was the one that pulled out the name Paradox,
Mm-hmm.
and then we went with that.
That's cool. You know what's funny, Bruce? You remember we knew a secular band that we had played with called Paradox.
Yep.
They were, you know, so I did a little search on the name Paradox, the bands, and here's what I found. You ready? There's a German thrash band called Paradox,
Right?
a Thai rock band called Paradox, a German underground band, an Israeli band called Paradox, a punk band from Slovakia. That's not you guys, right? A hip hop duo from London, a jazz fusion trio,
Wow.
a new wave band from New Zealand, a punk rock band from Australia, and last but not least, you guys. You know, and it's so funny because as I'm looking at these, I'm like, you hear the name Paradox a lot.
Right.
You know, even when I was trying to find some videos and stuff for you guys, because what we do, I don't know if you guys have seen them in my podcast. When we edit this, my editor, Dave Cruz, he's going to throw a bunch of footage of you guys on stage and live and funny things. And we make this podcast where it's just fun and people like to watch it and they laugh, you know, and they have a good time. They get to know everybody. But I searched for Paradox and everything came up except for you guys, you know. So that's what, So that's what made me decide to do that, you know. But
Actually, what you have to do is put Paradox San Antonio, Texas, and then
that's what I figured out.
all the videos come.
Yeah, that's what I figured out. That's how I found them, you know. So
I went to a concert. Y'all remember Sonic Flood?
yeah.
Yeah, I went to a concert there, and there was a Australian band, they were from Ireland. They were called Beanbag.
Like kind of like Wetback, but Beanbag.
One of the guys had mohawks and stuff, man. They were,
Oh wow.
They were. Anyway, I got to talk to them, and I told them, my wife, she said, "Oh, this is my husband. He used to play with a band called Paradox," and the guy freaked, and he's like, "Paradox? Are you talking to the guys from Europe?" And he goes, No. Oh, you mean the 5 Mexican guys from San Antonio? So
he wasn't as excited anymore.
the 5 Hispanic guys from San Antonio, that Paradox. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh man. Hey Roy, when you joined and when you guys had it before, you guys had a bunch of music already, right? Roy, did you help write any of the Ruler album or any of the Power and Glory or anything?
No, I didn't. It was until the Wrath that music that I was able to contribute musically. But before that, no, that was John and Phil and Fern and those.
Oh, okay.
Those guys.
All right, cool, man. Oh, cool, cool, cool. As Paradox, with you included, Roy, in that, what was your very first show you guys did?
We played at a youth rally here in San Antonio. That was my first gig with them.
Yeah, I bet that was fun.
It was cool because I'm going to tell you, all right, and I don't want it to go to this guy's head, all right.
Oh
But
boy, it's already shrinking. Look at the screen get smaller.
I told you that he was with Wicked Step, right?
Yeah.
Or better, Mike used to twirl the mic and the people in the front row are doing this, you know. Fern was a legend here in San Antonio.
De veras.
Yeah, I mean, he played, okay, I'd never heard anybody play Scorpions the way this guy did. I mean, he's a real big Yuli John Rath fan, no question.
Wow.
I mean, it was like wherever Fern went, he had a bunch of young guitar players following him around, and I was one of them. So,
wow.
I mean, to make
So was Bruce.
I go to Rock World, I go to wherever Costa Music, just to see Fern.
Wow.
Hey, I need some work on this guitar. Yeah, let me fix it for you. Do I know you? Yeah, the way you do. And he goes, well, what do you need done with it? Oh, well, it's not playing right. I would make up excuses just to go to Costa Music so I could see this guy.
Fern, were you like, oh, here comes that dude again, man? Ah, Chihuahuas.
Yeah, like the little Chihuahua dog and the big.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The two buddies, yeah.
So
what was going?
I joined up with Paradox. I was in guitar heaven, man. I was blown away that I was actually on the same stage with this guy, man.
Wow.
There's no way. And then Fernando, I have to tell you this. When John passed and we came in, it wasn't all hunky-dory. It was a lot of Bible, a lot of fasting, a lot of prayer. We joined up. But I had this Beretta guitar, which I used to love. It was a Kramer Beretta with the Floyd Rose. And the first practice we practiced with these guys, Fern didn't know what kind of guitar I had. I know he was a Strat man. And so we went to go practice at Manny's house, and I opened up my guitar case and I pulled it out and I strapped it on, and Fern looked at me and he turned white. And I said, "Are you all right, bro?" And he goes, "Bro, that's the same kind of guitar John Vidari used to have."
Oh,
and
wow.
I freaked. And Manny runs inside. He pulls out a photo album and he goes, "Look, this is John." And he starts showing me pictures, and I'm just blown away. He had a Beretta, except he had a white headstock, right, Fern? Mm-hmm. Mine was black. But it was like, I don't know, man. It was like, I could go into some more, but I won't. But I couldn't believe I was playing with this guy. And
that's awesome.
Manny too, because he was kind of they were like my heroes on the side of San Antonio. Mm-hmm. We had like Heyoka, we had what were the other bands for?
There was a lot of local bands.
Wow.
There was a bunch of they used to have Battle of the Bands, and Wicked Step was always in there. So
yeah,
Raz, Manny with these guys were like my heroes, and I couldn't believe I was in sharing the same stage with them, man. I used to tell Anthony, "Am I dreaming? Are we dreaming?" And he was like, "No, bro, it's real." He would throw a stick at me.
Hey, so let me ask you this, Roy. What was it like? You ready? Think way back. What was it like the first time you were on stage with these guys performing? What was that like?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, I was star shocked, or stage shocked, or whatever you want to call it. That I had to really focus on my playing. I just do the rhythm, and Fern handled all the lead. And then let me tell you about Fernando, bro, and Barbie might testify to this too. This guy had a wall of Marshalls. He just didn't have one. He had to have like 4 or 5 or 6 Marshalls all around, so that when he started playing, it was like. I don't need a monitor for this guy. I mean, I can hear him fine, no problem. Just let him let him plug in, and that's cool. I had maybe a cabinet or two and a head or two. But this guy, he had like 4 heads, about 8 cabinets.
Oh my gosh.
You know, it was like a sound check. Hey, the guy with the long hair, can you dial down a bit?
Oh, for real?
Yes, man. It was super loud. It was fun. It was fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Where this guy sitting down and they turn on the stereo. His whole face goes back like that with his hair like that.
Oh yeah, when he's sitting in that chair.
High fidelity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sat in front of me. I said,
Let me insert this real quick, Ray. We used to practice at this church called Christ is Lord Fellowship over here on Bandera Road. And Yvonne Peterson, she was a counselor. She was a Christian counselor. She would bring kids out of Satanism. So a lot of them just were newly converts, okay? They were new. They hadn't been Christian walking with the Lord, not even a month. She brought them to our practice place. So
wow.
We're tuning up. The rest of the guys, everybody was getting coffee or eating donuts. Or whatever. Fern and I are tuning up, right? So these young kids were sitting down, just listening, just waiting for us to practice. So Fernando hits a chord. This kid jumps out of his seat. I mean, and then he ran out the back door, and he forgot it was one of those, you got to push the door handle to get out.
Oh no.
The door. He's trying to get out of the building. I told you, this guy, man, he had this anointing, and he had all those Marshall amps. So when he hit that chord, these kids just freaked.
Was it the volume? Is that what got him, or just what?
Personally, it was both. I think he had the Fern put the fear of God in him, bro.
Yeah, man.
with Marshall.
Yeah.
With Marshalls, yeah. Hey, if God can use pigs, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have stories, but we only have so much time.
Yeah. No, that's all right. And Fern, what about you? What was it like having him on stage with you, knowing this guy was a huge fan of yours, follow you around at your music store?
I didn't know that.
He's gonna yawn, bro.
I just I knew that Roy fitted the part because he knew the songs, and we had, like I said, we had tried out several other guitar players, and there was either something not right with the other guitar players, and Roy just came in, and it was Roy. Like I said, Roy just played all John's parts, and I didn't have to teach him anything, just very minor parts like, several chords, and that's it. And then, of course, him and Anthony and John, they were all tight. The 3 of them were tight, and they just fitted in like a glove. And I remember as I started playing with Roy, and I didn't have to worry about Roy messing up or whatever, because Roy would do his homework.
Yeah.
He was always on it, And if I messed up or anything, I said, well, Roy will cover me, or Roy will help me out, get me out of it.
That's awesome, man.
You're giving me too much credit I don't deserve, man. Fernando was a guitar god, man. This guy, he's just like...
Another thing that Roy could sing very good backup vocals and hit all those,
right.
So that really helped them out as well.
Yeah. Bruce, you remember back in 1990 when we played with these guys at Las Cruces High School, I think it was? You guys remember that show?
I do. It was or Hanks High School.
I remember several shows in Texas.
Yeah, then we did the Opera House and somewhere else.
But it was
that was a really big crowd, and they were getting bomb threats, and so they hired a security company to come in. And that's the show, and we were playing, doing setup during the day. We had found out about the bomb threats, blah blah blah, and then we were praying, all the roadies and the sound tech guys, and we were praying, and I just remember hearing while we were praying, chanting, Satan is God. Satan is God. Do you remember that?
Out in the parking lot, right?
Yeah, you might. I don't remember if you were there, but they were walking in a circle around us while we were praying. They looked like Mexican Indians. So, and there's like three of them, two or three of them, and they were walking in a circle around us going, Satan is God. Satan is God. And I remember looking up, like, I go, bro, you're messing with the wrong God. But there was definitely a lot of demonic stuff going on there in Texas, man. And we had gone to a youth group thing because we had several shows. So we were off one night. It was a Wednesday, and the youth pastor, some guy, invited us to the church where he went, and it was a Wednesday night midweek service, and I think it was me, Tony. I don't know if you were with us, Ray. I can't remember, but I know Tony.
I don't remember going to there. Yeah.
And we walked up to the door, and the guy's like, "Hey, there are these Mexican Indian guys again, not same ones, but another group with two girls." And they were standing outside the door, and we walked up. And he said, "Hey, man, I want to introduce you guys. This is Sacred Warrior. They're from blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "I want you guys to meet him." And he spit right in the guy's face.
Oh, wow.
He said, "Get the F away from me." And I just remember, if Barbie was ever living in me, that was one of the moments. I was like, oh my God, guy's going to kill us. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, these people.
Oh, man.
And he looked at him and he goes, "I love you, brother."
Oh, wow.
And I just went, wow. We walk in and he goes, "Yeah, those two guys are right now on trial for killing a baby in the desert, sacrificing a baby in the desert."
Oh.
Right now? Currently?
Yeah. Well, they were out on parole, I guess, or bail, whatever.
Oh, wow.
And he said their trial's set, and they're probably going to go down for life because they killed a baby in the desert as a sacrifice. And
Oh, wow.
and they're dating these two girls, but these girls they control them. And so the parents make the girls come to church on Wednesday and Sunday, and these guys stand outside the whole time and wait for them. And I was just like, man, we saw a lot of stuff I saw a lot of stuff like that in Texas.
Mm.
You know, so a lot of demonic stuff, satanic stuff. We played a lot of places, and nothing probably for me was as bad as Texas.
Wow. Is there still a lot of that going on in Texas? People practicing Satanism and stuff?
You know, that we played at that high school, at Hanks High School that you were talking about, Ray,
Yeah.
that very night, when we got off the stage, then you all went on stage after the concert. Well, we were playing, there was about 10 or 15 guys in front of me, and you could tell that they were all in a gang, and they looked like hoods and all that, and they were looking at me, man, like that serious look, like that, we're gonna tear you up, man. And I just kept on playing, and when I was playing, I was praying as well, and I said, man, because we heard that there was a lot of Satanism and witchcraft going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So this one of the gang guy comes up to me, and he says, "Hey, my friend, the leader, wants to talk to you." I said, "Oh no."
Oh, man.
And I'm freaking out because there's about 10 or 15 guys, And then I tell Roy, I said, "Hey, Roy, I'm going to go talk to these guys, so keep an eye out on me." So we're going to the side, and there's some stairs. And then the guy says, "Well, we're up here, man. We want you to come up here." And I said, "Oh." So I go upstairs on the side. The guy's there, and there's about 10 guys there. And they all look rough, They all look like, man, these guys are in a gang. I said, if I don't watch what I say, they're going to either cut me up or something. And the guy looked at me and he says, where did you learn how to play like that? I said, what do you mean? He said, where did you learn how to play like that? He said, we've been following you all around, which was our tour with you all. We've been following you all. And I said, well, I just learned. I said, the Lord taught me. He says, no, where did you learn how to play like that? And I said, the Lord taught me. He was the one that taught me how to play all this. I said, yeah, I listened to records and all that, guitar players. And then he says, you know, me and my guys here. And I said right away, he says, oh man, this guy, they say they're going to tear me up, right? He said, me and my friends here, we want to buy some shirts, man. But we don't want to go out there and show that we're interested. And
Wow.
they said, but we want to pick from you. And I said, really? He says, yeah. So it was, Lord was turning it around.
Oh yeah, man.
And then I said, well, I'll give you all the pick. I said, but you all are going to have to pray with me. And he said, well, what for, man? So I told him a story. And if I have a second.
Yeah, man. You got all the time you want, bro.
I told him, I said, and I pointed at the main guy. I said, imagine you have a brother. He says, I do. He's right here. I said, well, you imagine your brother is going to California and he tells you he's going to go to California and he's going to call you. You know, that way you know that he's all right, that he made it there, right? He says, yeah. Imagine that you go to California and as soon as he gets there, he's going to call you, right? He says, yeah. So when he gets there about 6 hours later on the flight, gets the phone and he calls you up and he says, hey, there's a nuclear bomb just going out and you need to get on the plane wherever you're at and take off to the next country because it's going to blow up. You have a choice to believe your brother that wouldn't lie to you, or say, nah, man, my brother's just playing around. You have that choice, right? He says, yeah. I said, that's the way it is with God and Satan. I said, in a couple of days, that radiation is going to come. Whether you see the radiation, whether you feel the radiation, or whether you hear the radiation, it doesn't matter. It's going to eat you up, to kill you, right? And he says, yeah. Well, that's the way it is with the devil. The devil wants to eat you up, destroy you, and kill you. Has come today to tell you what's really going on. You can't see the devil. That doesn't mean he doesn't exist. You can't hear him, but he does exist. So the Lord sent me to you, sent us to you to tell you that if you all don't repent, you know, you're probably going to hell. And they all freaked out, man. When I told them that, and guess what? Brought them up to the front. We prayed, led them all to the Lord.
Dude, I just got goosebumps on my whole body.
Yeah, just because they wanted a pick. And just so weird because I ran out of picks. If I gave Harvey's picks or Roy's picks or whatever, but I just, you know, what happened, and that's what the Lord used that night.
I remember Anthony. Anthony was a pilot, right? In Desert Storm?
Yeah.
I remember he hit me up on Facebook one day. Bruce, you'll remember this when I tell you. They were going off to war. They were going off to fight in their fighter planes, and he had Sacred Warrior in his headphones, and he got it to all the pilots as they were going out. And they said, as they were going out to war, they were listening to Sacred Warrior. And he said that was their comfort in just having the Lord with them. You know, when you remember that, Bruce, I tell you that story.
Yep.
When he texted me that, I was like, wow, man, that's so incredible because you never know. See, for us, you have to be willing to open your mouth. If I was in your shoes, I'd be freaking out to them. You're going to go to hell if you don't get saved, you know, but God put you there at the right time and he worked it all out and he gave you the words to say. Bruce is the same way, man. We could be around a bunch of murderers and Bruce is going to say, hey, how you doing? And they're all on their knees giving their heart to the Lord, you know. When God calls you, you know, here's the weird thing. At our live shows, I don't talk much as far as sharing the gospel and stuff. On here, I do. I talk a lot. I'm a talker, but on stage, Bruce does most of the talking when it comes to that because I feel like he's got this anointing on his life that God really used him, like He did you, Fern. He used you, and God prepared the hearts of those guys that were going to get saved. You know what I'm saying?
I wanted to give Bruce a plug. My friend that passed away, his name was Mike Better, and he really liked the way Bruce played because he saw us play here in San Antonio, and he said, "Hey, Fern, who's that dude there?" And I said, "Oh, that's Barbie, but I know him as Bruce." And he said, "I'd like to meet him." And I think you met him, and ever since that, man, you were the number one guitar player Christian wise. You know.
Yeah, I'm always humbled when I hear that stuff. One thing I was going to say too about Tony Anthony, you said earlier, Roy, that if Anthony talked to you, that meant he liked you. I remember we were doing shows with you guys, and me and him roomed together one night. We ended up switching, and somehow me and him got a room together. And I remember me and him laid up in bed and talked for hours. And it was cool. And I just really, I thought, this is a really cool guy, man. Me and him just talked for like 2 or 3 hours. And this was after a show, so you're already burnt out. But, man, we were wide awake from the adrenaline from the show and everything. And me and him just talked the night away. And it was cool. And, and I periodic. And if I remember correctly, I think he had a little hiccup in his walk with the Lord. And I could be wrong, but if I'm remembering correctly, I thought he had maybe a little hiccup. And then at some point, I think he reached out to me and we had a good conversation because he was coming back to the Lord. I hope that's the case now because I thought he was just an awesome dude. And I hope he's walking with the Lord. And it sounds like that might be happening now. You guys still in contact with him?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we have a text. He started about several years ago. He started a text group.
Yeah.
Some guys in the military.
Mm-hmm.
He has me in there. He has all us. And man, every day that guy's sending texts out. Always. He's kind of like the leader, So when you said, yeah, y'all talked, man, he must have really liked you because he was, for a long time, he was hard. He's a hard case, to crack.
Yeah.
But we grew up. We kind of did some pretty wild things when we were lost in the world before my DWIs. He was kind of part of that.
Oh yeah.
He was kind of part of the. I mean, we have some friends of ours that are in this group text. They talk about when Anthony and I used to go cruising out, and we were coming home late at night. I don't remember how we got home, man. We're at a stoplight. I ran the stoplight. My head was down. His head was down, and my friends were in this vehicle, this big truck, and we drove by, and they just freaked because Anthony and I were asleep at the wheel. I mean, we were heads down. We drove we ran the light, but it was fortunate because it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. There's no cars around, but they were still around. They were still out. But anyway, so Anthony and I have been through a lot, but he's been through more because I got to tell you, Bruce and Ray.
Yeah.
When he went to he did Iraq. He did several tours up there.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, a different guy came back.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I knew him like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this guy. But we talked, we had Bible studies and we talked a little bit about, and I could see a little smile coming to his face, like he must have gone through some stuff over there, man.
Well, think about it, bro. You know what they're doing out there? They're killing.
Yeah.
To protect us for our freedoms. That changes a man, bro. I've never done it, but I know if I would, I'm the kind of guy, dude, I get something in my mind and I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
And so imagine you're doing that, taking other people's lives, even for a good cause or not. I mean, that's got to mess with you, man.
Yeah.
Well, what's that? Post-traumatic syndrome.
Yeah.
PS, right? these guys
PSD, yeah.
come home and-
PTSD, yeah.
PTSD.
yeah, and I can't imagine. They come home and they're not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them get better and they heal up and they get good counsel or whatever. Some don't, man, and it's
Yeah.
pretty tragic. So
Yeah.
But he's rock solid, man, in his faith. So to answer your question, yeah, he's serving God with all his heart.
well, I'm glad
Good, man.
to hear that, and please say hello.
Yeah, next time you talk to him, tell him we said, hey, what's up, man?
I'll tell him if he sees this podcast,
Yeah,
he might pull me aside, you know.
what's up?
Yeah, he might say, hey, how come I wasn't on here, right?
Yeah.
What if you're watching, Anthony? Love you, bro. Miss you. Should have been on here
Yeah.
Next time.
next time. Yeah. Hey, so mira, I was gonna ask you guys, Cornerstone. How did that come about for you guys getting that gig at Cornerstone?
It came through a friend. Actually, Doug Van Pelt from Heaven's Metal.
Yeah.
He was
Through him.
because it was One Bad Pig at the time. It's other band, and we were like the new band. We were gonna play in the new band stage,
Yeah.
and it was funny because we had rented some vans to go over there.
Did they have motors in them?
Yes. And what happened, One Bad Pig took our vans and we didn't know.
See,
So we
these
went-
from Austin, what were they doing here in San Antonio? It was like all the rental places were all sold out or something. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
and so we ended up going in about 3 or 4 cars, real small cars, and we were all like this, driving all the way over there for about a day and a half. And when we got there, it was we got there 30 minutes before we go on. So we didn't get a chance
Wow.
to eat, to shower, or anything. We just put on a different shirt or costumes, whatever.
I'd have to say, One Bad Pig looked a little bit surprised that we were there.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Did you guys play at the fairgrounds? Or
Yeah.
Okay, so it was.
Well, I mean, it was indoors.
Yeah, but because they used to have it at a fairgrounds, and then they moved it to like Marion, Illinois, or something. So did you
Yeah.
guys probably
No, this was before that when they played
so the fairgrounds.
Y'all
the fairgrounds. Yeah.
It was 89, Cornerstone 89.
Yeah. I watched the video. The crowd loved you guys, and I like how Manny singled you guys out. There's Fern on guitar, and Fern does his little thing, and then all that, and then Anthony. I loved it, man. I thought it was a great video. I don't think I saw you guys live there, but I already knew because I think we had played with you guys. I don't remember if we played with you guys prior to Cornerstone or after Cornerstone, but it doesn't
I
matter.
think it was prior. It was around the same time, Ray, because we got pictures of all of y'all where it was after we played at Cornerstone. Did y'all play there?
Yeah, several times.
Okay. Well, we must have met y'all there, and then that's when you invited us to go on this Texas.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Where do you guys live? You're in which part of Texas?
Southern San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
Y'all played down here at what was it
We
called?
played at Exodus 90.
Yeah, y'all played here. Exit.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I wanted to take a picture of Bruce's rig. I saw all his Mesa Boogie heads and cabinets, and I always like, because that's what that was one part of the audio that I liked. But you had the same thing as Fern, man. You better bring some earplugs when y'all guys play, man.
Well, the thing that I learned from the Resurrection band was I used to crank up my boogie pretty loud, and I'd be on about 3 or 4, which is loud. And then when we started playing with the Res band, the sound guy came up to me one day and he's like, "Bro, you got to turn that thing way down." I said, "The only way to get the true sound from it is turning it up." And he goes, "You got to turn it down, dude. It's way too loud. And you're blowing. We don't even have you in the PA. If you want it to sound great, you got to trust me." I turned it down. And we found that sweet spot at like 1.5, 1.25. And I just remember everybody saying to me who saw us live on that tour said, dude, you guys sound like the album. It sounds amazing. And I just remember thinking, I think I'm just going to keep my sound right there all the time. And I really did, because I thought the louder the better. But I didn't take into consideration all the other guys, all the band, the stage sound, all the stuff. So that was a valuable lesson for me to learn that to have good sound, you've got to blend. You can't be just blowing people away.
Yeah. Roy Cyrus K, you know what he plays through now? A little orange amp like this big.
Who?
Like orange.
Fern?
No, you, Bruce. I was kidding. How you practice, you know?
No. I know George likes those orange.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Members, right?
What's that?
What's that?
Y'all have new band members.
Yeah. So two. Tom and Larry. Yeah. Because you know Bruce, Rick passed away.
Yeah.
And then Joe played after that, and then he couldn't play anymore, and then he stepped out, and so then we got Tom, and then Bruce. You know, he can handle. For many years, we played with just Bruce on guitar, but the way he was writing, it really required a second guitarist just to get that full sound. So we ended up bringing John Johnson from Zeal, and he was on for an album and a half, 2 tours with us. And then when I got back together with them recently, we brought Larry Worley from the band Paradox. Oh my God, Fear Not. You guys remember Fear Not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know who Larry is, the guitar player?
I sure do.
Yeah. So he's
wait. What's Larry's last name?
Worley.
Worley. Okay.
My friend on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
Mm-hmm.
I like giving him a hard time, but I love that guy. Hey, so now Paradox is all broken up, and now you guys have Metamorphis. Who's all in Metamorphis?
Well, it's me, Roy, this drummer by the name of Omar. He's more of a speed metal type of player, but and he's younger. He's about I think 40. Well, compared to us, you know.
Compared to us, yeah.
But and then we have this other singer. He's from a different city. He's about 100 miles away. And he sings pretty good.
He kind of reminds me of a Ray.
Yeah. Órale, pero is he this good looking? Look at that. Watch out.
No, man, not that good.
Oh man,
they're good guys, man.
That's good.
Fern and I have, got to keep the torch.
Yeah, man. What's Manny doing these days? Is he rocking out at all? Playing any bands, or just kind of like chilling?
I saw him about a week ago. He's retired now.
Oh, how old is he?
Oh man,
he's like, whoa, he's old.
So, I don't know. I think he might be 70.
He's our elder.
Wow. He's our elder.
It's weird because when Bloodgood, when we played with Bloodgood back in the 90s,
yeah,
I think Les Carlson was the oldest member, and he was, I think, at that time, if I was in my 35 or 40, give or take, he might have been 60. I'm not sure, but I remember Les Carlson, and he was a good guy. He was a great singer.
Oh yeah, man.
He is a good guy.
He is. Yeah, Les and I are real good buddies. We do a lot of projects together still.
Really?
We're working on right now. Yeah, we're working on one right now for Larry Dean. Les and I, yeah. And then Les sang on my world. I don't know if you guys know about my other band, Worldview, but Les sang on that, and But no, he's a great dude, man.
Yeah. Does George play in that band?
Yeah. It's George, Todd, Terry from Holy Soldier, We have a girl singer now. Her name is Crystal. My son Dylan plays keyboards, and then I'm the lead vocals.
Wow.
Yeah, we're kind of like prog metal too, same kind of vein, you know.
Yeah.
Is your dog growling or something, Bruce, or is that your stomach?
No,
I keep hearing.
no. Hey, I was gonna take the thing out. He's snoring.
Is he really?
Sleeps right next to me here in his dog bed, and he's. I'm like this dog, man.
Oh my gosh!
But he follows me around. I can't get him away from me. I get 2 dogs, and they follow me around everywhere.
Yeah,
He's snoring.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so besides musicians, Fern, you're a guitar repair guy. Is that what you do?
Well, yeah, I've been. I learned under a luthier back when I was 18 years old, fresh out of high school. I
Wow.
got working for this music store, and the owner was a luthier, and his grandpa or his grandfather created one of the first bajo cestos, and so I learned how to work on all these string instruments, from upright basses, guitarrones, bajo cestos, quintos, electric,
Chicharrones.
Chicharrones. There you go.
anything that had a string, I repaired.
Wow.
And started working for a bigger music stores. Then I got endorsed by Zion Guitars at the time.
Look at that, Bruce.
But I was repairing, and through that I met a lot of top-notch musicians.
Nice.
But yeah, I've been repairing since I was about 18 or 19.
Well, and you work on your own guitars too, then, right?
Fern works on all my guitars.
I think I worked on Bruce's guitar, but that's probably where y'all got the idea that I put that. But I didn't.
Now, I remember what I do remember about you, Fern, is didn't you have a super long whammy bar?
Yeah,
Yes, that's.
Customize.
I remember that.
Oh, that's right.
big old whammy bar, man.
Yeah, I
The
remember.
story behind it is that I used to break all the 3/16, because they're 3/16 the thickness. And one day, the guy who taught me how to play work on the guitars, he told me, well, "Why don't we go ahead and build you a 1/4 inch, and that way you don't break them." And he used to be he used to work at one of these Air Force bases, and he was a machinist. So he says, "Yeah, we'll just use the drill rod material, and that's not going to break." So that day, we cut it, and it was about 2 feet long, 18 inches, give or take. And we drilled a bridge, and we tapped it out, and we put it on, and it worked great. And we were supposed to cut it in half or 3/4 of it, but we got real busy that day at work, and I had to go gig. So I just took the guitar with me with a whammy bar. And that night I went and I played, and everybody like freaked out with the whammy bar, and they said, "Fern, you need to start using it like that." So it was mainly no thing. But yeah, it's a big bar.
Very original.
Yeah.
You're the only.
Well, it made you remember, Bruce. I didn't remember that.
I remember that, and I remember thinking, "Man, that thing is long."
Yeah.
Oh.
Everybody remembers that guitar. In fact, it's on our Ruler album, the first album. When you see it, you see the big old whammy bar in between the snakes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great, man.
Is that custom Les Paul or standard?
It was a 57 reissue. It was one of the in 83, 84. I still have it, but I don't use it that much.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of story. I had a Les Paul back in the day. It was I God's honest truth. I believe it was a 67, but I found it at a pawn shop, and I got tricked. I didn't know what I had, and I got tricked into selling it to get some other instruments. And all these years, 40 years later, I finally got this one. But this was Fern again. You know, Fernando has this talent of finding guitars. He'll go into a pawn shop, and I'm thinking, why are we going to this pawn shop? Well, he always goes into the music section and tries to look for instruments and stuff. He found this one in a pawn shop, didn't you, Fern?
Yeah.
Hidden gems, man.
How much did you pay for it from a pawn shop?
I think it was about 6 or 8. I don't remember, but
That's crazy.
that.
What do they go for normally?
That's
Les Pauls are like 1,200, 1,100, 2,200. Now they're like 3,000.
Wow.
American Les Pauls, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at one, and it was 6,800.
yeah.
8,500. I mean, these were reissues.
Right.
57 reissues. They're very expensive, but
Very.
I've always kind of dabbled with wanting a Les Paul, but I just, it's hard to pull the trigger.
Here's mine right here. Mira. It's actually a hanger. I got a couple of Jacksons on the wall over there, but
Hey, man, I'm always telling Fern, we were practicing. This guy come in with a green Strat, a blue Strat, a red Strat, a white Strat. And Fern, how many Strats do you have? Guess what his answer was?
all of them.
Not enough.
Yeah.
Man.
As guitar players, you're always looking for that golden goose of a guitar, and once you find it, it's great. I have a lot of guitars, but there's only a couple of them that I really like.
Yeah.
I found mine in Tom Anderson guitars. You familiar?
Yes, very familiar with them.
I love them. I do play excuse me, I play a Majesty. I got a Music Man Majesty Petrucci. Great guitar. I love it, but my Andersons are my go-to. And I just ordered another one, silver one, reverse headstock. So should be coming any day. I'm really excited, but I think those guitars are just they're awesome. I love them so much. So
How many guitars do you have, Bruce?
well, it's hard to I have a bunch of different kinds of guitars, but electrics I probably have about 7, and I'll have 8 soon. I fell upon a guitar called a Vic, V-I-K. A guy out of Europe makes them, and I bought one, a 7-string, because I wanted to start playing 7-string like 5-6 years ago. Just wanted to start playing around, and so I bought this kind of burnt orange 7-string, semi-hollow. I'm telling you, I love this guitar. I play it at church pretty regularly now. And I'm starting to get more familiar with that 7th string. It used to throw me quite a bit, but yeah, that's one of them. And I've been eyeing a 6-string Vic because they are really well-made guitars, but we'll see. But yeah, but then I've got those Vayets Ray, the 12-string guitars. I have 2 of those, a baritone and a mini 12. I have Gibson Chet Atkins, which I love. That is, yeah. I don't really play acoustic. I play more of a Chet or classical. I got a Martin classical. So, all in all, I probably got like 14 guitars. But I really wish, and I'm sure, Fern, you probably feel the same way if you haven't already. I wish I would have been smarter and more diligent back in the day to collect guitars and keep guitars. And I just, I didn't. And I just look now and I go, crap, every guy that in this area that would play guitar at younger ages, they all collected, and they have this incredible collection of guitars worth a good chunk of dough because they collected them and held on to them. And so that was one of my look back and go, dang, I wish I would have done that. So
Yeah.
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 You look at George Ochoa, he's probably got more guitars than Guitar Center.
yeah.
He's got a
Yeah.
lot of guitars, man.
But-
Hey, so were you gonna say something, Bruce?
No, I was gonna say, you know what? You fall in love with these things, and you know, my problem is a lot of them just end up getting buried, and so then I feel bad, like I'm not even using that thing. You know, so but just set them aside, leave them, and in 10 years, they're going to probably be really valued as far as not just financially, but as far as like, hey, this is a piece of art, man, and so, but.
And you, Roy, what do you do for a living?
Well, I work for a company here. They sell, all your printers, copiers, like Ricos and Lexmarks and those Konica Minoltas, those high-end printers. I work in the meter department. I tell Fern I'm just a glorified bill collector, because these big companies we make money off of clicks, like printing a sheet of paper, and 99 cents, a pop, a click. But
Oh wow!
since we do hospitals, insurance companies, all the printing, maybe those big billboards. They do all that. If you go to a hospital, you see all these laminate charts and they print all that. So
Wow.
So we use the software to kind of monitor everything, and that's how we get them. But some people don't like it because of security reasons, and they have their reasons or whatever. They don't want to do that, so then we have to email them or call them.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at spreadsheets all day.
Yeah.
I prefer to be playing, but it's just like Fern and I was just telling them, we write. When we were practicing, we get together and we would be able to write. Fern writes material. He's always sending me stuff, and then I listen to it and regurgitate it, and then that's how we used to write songs together. Everything that I come up with, he would add something to it, or if he writes something, I would not add to it. I would rearrange it, maybe, or this or do that. So that's how we bounce things off each other. But the one thing I told him recently was that we haven't had that opportunity because we've had musicians come in and maybe it didn't happen quick enough for them, and y'all are truly blessed to have the original Sacred Warrior guys with y'all, and it's hard. I wish it's only him and I, so I kind of look at the drums, and we have, like Fern was saying, the young guy. He's not really a young guy, but he's a really talented drummer. Talented drummer. He's got he's starting up record labels, and he's doing his own thing, and he's really helped us a lot. But as far as the writing, we're still we have Fern, and we have new music that we want to introduce, but we don't have that luxury because the guys that we have, it's hard to get together.
So what about you guys going in the studio, tracking all this stuff, hiring a studio drummer maybe and the vocals, and get it out just for the feelers, or is that not something you guys are interested in doing?
I would love to.
Well, I think we would use the drummer that we have right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what else that we're thinking of doing.
Yeah, and then future shows or anything with that Metamorphis, that'd be good. It's obvious to me, man, as I listen to you guys talking, man, you guys been in love with Jesus for a long, long time, and it's there's a lot of people. I think one of the things that has kept Warriors strong is that we never fell out of love with the Lord. And it seems like you guys the same thing, because when God calls you to it and you continue to do it, even, I left the band, but I wasn't backsliding. I was still serving the Lord. It was just a time, but, man, I wish the best for you guys, man. I wish that Metamorphis that you guys would get the right band together and you guys would do a recording and start doing some great shows and just get out there, and Bruce and I will support you guys in any way that we can. You know what I mean? And just really, really hope the best for you guys. Anything you guys want to say to the people watching now, that something they may not know about you guys, or something you want to just say in closing, or any words of encouragement or anything? Guys, feel free.
Well, I was going to say, as you know, our country is very divided the way things are now, but God's in control, and prayer changes things. With the election coming up, I'm not plugging nobody, but all I'm going to say is to vote biblical. That's it, and preach the word, love the Lord. And there's a lot of people out there that don't know about Jesus. And I think God has called all of us, whether we're metal missionaries, spreading our music. The thing is to tell them about Jesus, because any second now he's going to crack the sky and he's going to return, especially with everything going on.
Man.
That's what I have.
How about Roy?
Hey, I just want to thank you, Ray, for having us on your podcast. And it's a real treat to see Bruce. I was got him in there. I remember a lot of a tour that we did, that Texas tour, and I think it was one of the best times of my life, hanging out with you guys, man. Y'all were so much fun being on the road with. Man, Rick, man, we played football and stuff, man, and he was scoring.
I remember that, or basketball,
pulling our warm-ups down, our shorts down, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we had so much fun with that guy, man.
Yo, check us out!
Yeah, man.
It was so much fun. And y'all too, man. Steve, tell him I said hi, and Tony.
Yes.
Guys, man, y'all are such a great band. I remember when y'all first came out, and Anthony and I, we went to Shepherd Shop, and we got your CD, or
Tape.
it was a tape. It was a tape.
Yeah.
I think it was an 8-track.
Man, when we were on tour with y'all, again, like with Fern, I was starstruck to be jammed on tour with y'all and to get to know y'all and stuff, man. It was amazing. It was amazing. And it was all for the Lord, man. It was all for the Lord.
Absolutely.
I mean, I love the fact that one day we were out there on the road and y'all had a bus and we had Manny's van, but we stopped out there somewhere in the middle of El Paso somewhere, and you said, "Hey, man, let's go look at the stars." Remember that?
Yeah.
And we went out and looked. It was something, man. It was like, whoa. I mean, you could see every star in the galaxy, man.
Crystal clear, bro. Yeah.
Did you ever find Bugs Bunny attractive when he'd put on a dress and play a girl bunny?
No. No.
Neither did I. I was just asking.
It was amazing. So thanks for those memories, bro. Great times.
Bruce, anything you want to say?
Yeah, I always treasure those moments in life when Warrior was young and touring and doing a lot of shows, and just able to meet guys like you. And we have a lot of those stories. The band Vengeance, if you remember, we spent a lot of time with them, and it was just, those were good days, man. And those are the memories that we'll hold on to and cherish. And that's why, I thought it was really cool. Ray called me yesterday and invited me to be a part of it. And I said, heck yeah, I'd love to see those guys and just see how. I know, Fern, me and you talked on the phone
Right.
a year ago, and it was really nice to talk with you, man. I was like, these guys are in my heart. And it's probably because we spent so much time touring, doing shows and just being together in Texas. And so with that, I'll just say it's been awesome to see you guys and spend a little time with you. And and I look forward to hopefully one day down the road seeing you guys physically, again. So wish you guys could fly out. Friday we have a show here in town. and it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. So,
We're praying for you, brother.
yeah, please do, because I'm sure about the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom,
That's right.
and I'm sure a little bit about that. Just how incredible God is, and just when you fear is a deep respect, right? So when you develop a deep respect for God, your life can be transformed.
Amen.
So, and that's going to be the message, and then we'll, as I would say, rip their faces off for Jesus. So,
Amen, man. Amen.
yeah.
Yeah, and Fern and Roy, man, it's been great seeing you guys again, hanging out with you guys, man. And I just, as we talk, so many great memories that we've had, and like Bruce said, I hope we have more in the future coming up,
yeah.
and yeah, man, for sure. You guys make sure you pray for us and we'll pray for you. And
No, I said we will pray for y'all.
oh yeah, no doubt. But hang in there for a minute. And guys, we just spent, a couple hours with Fernando and Roy originally from Paradox, man. And I'm glad for all you who joined us. And this is what brotherly, godly love is all about.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what serving Jesus with a full heart is all about. You start out with the Lord and you don't leave him no matter what. You seek forward, and then God brings people back around into your life and he continue to use it. Anybody watching this podcast, if you don't know the Lord, man, close your eyes and just say, Lord, I accept you. I'm a sinner. Come into my heart. And then get connected with a church or some church people or whatever. But again, thanks for watching Is It Wrong podcast. I'm really thankful. And remember to subscribe. I'm going to be putting their Facebook page and their band page or whatever you guys have. I'll be sharing it on here. But until then, God bless. And you guys hang in there for a minute, okay?
Oh, we had several bass players, man. But
Really?
they all left.
Why you keep scaring them off, bro? Man, you look kind of tired there. You've been taking your Triactin?
I'm tired, yeah.
You know what Triactin is?
No.
Mira, Triactin like a man. Vámonos. No, I like those glasses, bro.
Oh yeah.
I like, because everything on my podcast is green. Ya sabes, right?
Uh-huh.
Roy,
Hey,
Roy,
but look at these guys. Hey, watch out. Orale. Oprah Winfrey. Did you buy some Triactin?
Try what?
Triactin.
Triactin.
Oh, you haven't taken your Triactin?
I guess not.
Mira. Triactin
Oh.
like a man.
Wow. What does that help for your testosterone?